Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we're diving in. This is a conversation that's probably going to talk about leadership. It's going to talk about spirituality. It's going to talk about stepping into the fullest version of ourselves. And we're going to talk about what is the new earth and in leadership and in our lives. What does that actually mean? So, Adrienne, welcome to my show. She's a podcaster herself. Okay, there's like a list of like a million things that she does because she has really taken this work and embodied it in a way that got me really excited. And so, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to see what comes through.
If we could just kind of give people a little synopsis of your journey to this, because that's something that's really powerful. And I think, each one of us is on our own journey, right? And we find our way to who we are and what I like to call our soul purpose and our soul work at some point, hopefully. But you're somebody who really walks your talk and is really living it. And so I'd love for you to share more about how you got to this place.
Yeah, well, it's a road, and the road is what I like to say for New Earth, which is all of it's through the context of New Earth. And basically, if you're listening and you're like, I'm not sure if I can curse on this podcast, but
Yeah.
if you're like, what the fuck is happening in the world? What the fuck is happening is New Earth is being born, and the old paradigm of human distortion is shattering in front of our eyes. And so it's not about fixing what's shattering, it's about building what's correct from the ancient codes, from, unconditional love, bliss, harmony, freedom for all people, wealth, like limitless abundance. So the way I found myself to my soul purpose was just, how long is this podcast? Basically, I was born into the world really tapped in, very, very spiritual. I knew when people were going to die before they would die. I would say things and adults were like, don't say that. And then, like we do, we're born and we have this pure essence because, we're connected to unity consciousness from the other side. And then life happens and we get these layers of lived experience, ancestral things, past life things. And it's just like if you imagine your soul, it's like gunk that gets added to your soul. And it's like layer, 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 layer. And then I had a couple key snapping points where I just relentlessly obeyed my intuition, and it led me to birthing multiple missions and just the leader and mentor to unicorns I am today. But I've been through addiction. I had a near-death experience that actually activated my shamanic spiritual gifts, and it scared the shit out of me because I was so young and I had no tools. And so that's what actually spiraled me into addiction, which all addiction is just, we're trying to seek the light, but we go through the back door of chaos and darkness. And it doesn't last. And so spirituality and all of this, it's like an unconditional fusion with your soul and relentless, I refuse to participate in anything in the world that's not aligned with the truth of my soul, which takes courage and chutzpah. That's when you get to have the long-lasting blessing and you can transcend the chaos of this physical world. So to answer your question, it's been a long road. The thing with New Earth and each of our soul path, I love how you call it soul purpose because that's exactly what it is. And it's not even taking the road less traveled, we're building a new road. And it's like every brick is laid under our foot right before we step. And you go first, right? You step and then the next brick is laid. So that's my answer to your question.
I love it. It's the perfect answer. And I want to go back to something you said and it's probably a selfish question a little bit because it's something I constantly am battling with, and I'm sure other people are too, is the world can, there's a lot going on. And so my response to that is I've disconnected from all of it. I've disconnected from media. I've disconnected from social media to a degree, other than like this podcast and what I have to do for work. I mean, I have disconnected to the point where somebody will say something about something that's going on and I just have like deer in the headlights look, because it was like too much for me. And I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but like, do you have any thoughts on that?
I have several thoughts. First of all, what's your astrology?
Oh, funny. The call I was just on, we just went over this. So my sun sign is Libra, my moon is in Pisces, and then I don't remember the rest. Virgo rising, maybe?
Okay, yeah. I'm feeling that from you, which is beautiful. That's part of my medicine, like astrology, human design. So I'm a digital detox evangelist. I live a digital detox lifestyle. I've done a bare minimum 24-hour phone completely off, teleporting to the 90s every Saturday since 2019. So it's really important because, bringing it back to my story, you cannot hear your intuition when you're scrolling. That's by design. There are dark forces that it's not about right and wrong. It's about, are you connected to the light or not? And if you can't hear your own intuition, then you're automatically not connected to the light. So literally nothing else matters. And it's okay, how do I navigate this 3D reality, staying tapped into the truth of my soul as an ancient being that knows, because all of this chaos is just a distraction. What happens when people are overweight, scrolling, addicted, scared out of their mind that they're unsafe? We're more easily manipulated. We're automatically disconnected from the fact that we are powerful creators. We are disconnected, like we're both women. We're disconnected from our womb. Okay? Why did every ancient ruler hire prophets, hire astrologers, hire oracles? Because of the knowing. So the reason why it's not about anything from shame, by the way, is automatically like dead. You can't build anything from shame or self-hate or berating yourself. So if you're someone where you're like, oh, I feel like a bad person because I just like unplugged, like just take shame out of the equation, because shame is literally the normalized art of dehumanizing yourself. It's not okay, and it's not the truth, which is why it feels bad. So take shame off the table and just be like, what's correct for me? How can I stay tapped into what's going on with the human family and be in a deep space of energetic hygiene with myself? And it's a practice, and we are not, like, first of all, 99.9% of what you see on the news is not true. It's not real. Like, everything and it's positioned in such a way that you are programmed to fear your own power and programmed that other people are more powerful than you. And this is why we have money blocks. This is why we have just like, literally, I could go on and on and on about this. The Matrix. Think about this. I have put my tin hat on me. I don't care. That's why I love podcasting, because nobody can cancel me. Well, people can cancel me, but you can never actually get canceled unless you cancel yourself. I have had my account turned off on Instagram because I say things. And I love long form and I love podcasts because it's like, you own this and we can talk about real things that matter. If you weren't so like, think about the intricate system that has leveraged everybody's subconscious mind and nervous system to control us and all of this stuff and make us forget who we are. If we weren't immensely powerful, they would not have had to build that fancy of a system, you know? So
true.
I could just go off, but it's a key time to be just aware. Like, I don't feel called to go into everything with the files, but like, for example, if we're just going on intuition and the knowing, like everything that was currently exposed, we're recording this in the middle of March 2026. I've known about all of that for a decade because I had several clients who had direct lived experiences. Nobody believed them. I also have intuition. I also had prophetic dreams. So it's like when you're tapped in, and everybody can access that stuff. It takes practice, it takes skill, it takes healing. My ecosystem in New Earth Elite, which is my movement, it's a trifecta of transformation: healing, knowledge, and skill. You got to have all three. Yeah, it's an interesting time to be alive, and it's also like each of us chose to be alive right now because we have an important soul mission in birthing a world we're proud of. So
Absolutely.
if you're saying like, oh, it's just this like small like side hustle, or just I'm just a mother, or motherhood is like one of the most important New Earth roles. You're literally teaching other humans how to function in our realm. Like, it's insane. So any kind of thing about like it's not a big deal, like your soul purpose, what turns you on, and maybe you don't know what that is, just make it your soul purpose to discover your soul purpose. Like, it's important, and literally every single one of us, when we make a dream, it's like painting on the canvas of a world that we're destined to create, and nobody else can paint in the color that you are supposed to paint with, because you're the inventor of it.
Yeah, that's beautifully said. And so we're consciously creating our own reality. And so the more we're tapped into, that purpose, that service, those things, then that's how we're contributing to the bigger, higher collective, in my opinion, versus if we're consuming negative media, like all the fearful, like whatever, all of these things, then that's what we're consciously putting our attention on and then consciously recreating in our world. And I just wish everyone could realize that, because then we would just stop doing it.
Right. Well, part of it is that we're leaders and we're going to go first. And so just realizing that most people will be distracted in the scroll. And like something I teach on a lot is, I work with visionaries, mavericks, founders. We're spearheading. We go first. So in an ideal world, in New Earth, it'd be like, okay, yeah, nobody's scrolling and we're all just living in love and abundance. And that's not our current reality on our planet, though. So just having compassion for people and extending invitations to people like, hey, like this is a way, that you can be in your sovereignty, and this is how manifestation, creation, all of this stuff works. And also having compassion for people and knowing that people have deep programming, not everybody has tools. Like, for example, if someone's in a war zone, I'm not going to go up to them and be like, your thoughts create your reality. So because every single experience all of us has, we actually call it in as part of our soul's evolution. So every single thing that has been challenging in my life, your life, everybody's listening's lives, you actually called that in because there was negativity you were meant to cleanse as part of your soul's process to get to your purpose path.
How do you, so when we talk about like leading in a new earth, right? Like you said, like the people that are willing to go first. So what do you say to the person that feels like, hey, wait a second. Yeah, I think that's me. Like, I think something just awakened in me. Like, yes, I feel like this. But how do you get to the courageous act of whatever that means to you, leading in your way? Like, how do you move from like that awakened thing to like now, okay, yes, taking action in whatever way that means? Like, what do you have to do to get there?
Take action.
But what if they're scared, right? What if they're scared, like, I'm going to leave, like, okay, for a real example, like, oh no, like, I just realized this about myself. Am I going to lose all my friends? Is my family going to disown me? Am I, so like you start to like think about like, oh, what's going to happen? Because I just feel like a completely new person now.
Right. I love this question. I'm obsessed with it because this is one of the biggest reasons why people die with regret. And I call it soul suicide. You would rather live a caged life where you placate the comfort zones of others than be your real self. And honestly, it's normalized. So the first thing I would say is instead of saying, oh no, say, oh yes. Because, oh yes, I found my soul. This is amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then you're terrified. Yes, it happens. It's part of the process. And the way you do it is you do it. People overcomplicate this. And why do people pretend it's complicated? Because that gives them an escape hatch of why they didn't do it. One of my mantras is, I know and I go, I know and I go, I know and I go. If you want to receive every single thing in this life that you desire, action is the key to the door. So the question for how is, and I teach a lot of energetics, but it's like the path is revealed to you as you take action. The correct people will come with you. Have compassion for other people because they knew you as one person their whole life, and now you're like, but this is me. And so give them a chance. Like, and it might be, there's been people in my life where it's like we split off in different directions and then they click back in later, and it's like a real connection because it's based on the truth of who I am. And a lot of people aren't going to come with you. Your family will not understand. Everybody will tell you you're crazy. I'm not going to sit here and say that that's not going to happen. Literally, you're a maverick. Leaders go first while everyone else watches, and people in the cheap seats in the stands that never do anything will judge you. That's just part of it, okay? So the reason why my work is so life-changing is because I combine spiritual mastery with high performance. High performance is all about being in flow state in front of other people. My first career was in classical music. I walked out on stages every single night in front of thousands of people who knew exactly how the piece was supposed to go. And if I missed one tiny detail, everybody would know, you know? So I flew across the globe to get picked apart by the world's top musicians. Like, it was insanely intense. And I know it was the training ground for how can I equip leaders to be, because what is New Earth? It's art. We're making art. We're making shit that didn't exist. And it's like, we're making art in front of a bunch of people that are watching us. And like, how can you step out on that stage and make your art? Like, you've got to have an ironclad mindset. You've got to have an ironclad nervous system, and you've got to have habits on lock. Because we do not rise to our hopes, we fall to the level of our training.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so here's the cliche as a response to burnout, right? And so like high performance sometimes is like related to like working really hard and achieving and perfectionism and all these things. And it's like, I'm really successful and I'm doing and I'm doing and I'm doing. And then spirituality is like being. But I feel like these two things, when you talk about high performance and spirituality, I feel like you have an answer to this.
Well, they are the same thing. If you're not performing at a high level, you have rejected your divinity, because as a child of source, God, creator, the universe, whatever, like, you're here to be epic. Like, mediocrity is not for you. Okay, here's the other side of the coin. Coming from a spiritual root of nourishment, that's the only way you can sustain long term. It's not about burnout. You want to know what burnout is? Actually, the only time we burn out is when we're not living our soul purpose and we're going against the force of life. If you love your work, you will never burn out. Your work will give you energy. Working hard is fun. Working hard is respectful to God source energy and your soul. Like, there is an earning process of like, did you build the ecosystem and the location in your 3D reality for the miracle and the blessing to land? So all of there's archetypes, right? There's like Silicon Valley hustle culture where it's like, I never sleep and just like crush and let it rip and like work myself to the bone, and then I've got to get an IV in the hospital, which is a real thing. I've worked with many people on. And then there's the floaty mystics who are like, I'm just going to orgasm my way to 6 figures, $1 million. And it's like, it's the fusion of both, and either or, it's about both. And this is what's it's a mind fuck for people because people want the false security of like, this is the right way, this is the wrong way. It's like when they say go left or right, we go up. Just like in politics, it's not about left or right. That's just a distraction from people for people to be in a drama thing about not living their soul purpose. Like for real, on a collective level. And that might be wildly alarming to somebody listening. Trust me, I used to virtue signal hard from the left. I lived in Chicago for 10 years. And it's just not a relevant conversation when you transcend and you're like, okay, am I connected to the light of the Creator? If you think about the Creator is wealthy, the Creator is giving, the Creator is with a burnout conversation. And this is the core root, the physical and spiritual root of all dis-ease. So my work is I focus on 4 quadrants: healthy, wealthy, happy, and free. Burnout is a normalized form of dis-ease where there's not energy flow moving through the body correctly. You have a hose of energy and you kink your own hose. It's honestly a refusal for the full wattage of power that you know you're meant to be channeling every day. Like if you're making art, if you're in a state of making art and you're like obsessed, you're like, oh my God, like I'm tinkering around and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And you're just like so in your joy and your magic, like you will never burn out. And most people are terrified of that. They're like, it's too much. It's like, and they feel this like bubbling up inside them and they're like, nope, gotta shut it down. Nope, gotta shut it down. Oh my God, like I have all of these, I'm scared, like my family, my job, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, if you just let it rip, you would be so energized, you would never have burnout. So it's just an incorrect stewardship of life force energy. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. It's perfect. It's the perfect answer because that's what, so I oscillate between this person that sees things in like absolutely black and white but my soul sees things in like the gray area. And so that was something for me that I was always in the gray area of like, you work too hard and you're going to burn out. And I can't believe you spend so much time doing those things. You need to like learn to chill out and have self-care and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but I feel like living and being and working in my soul purpose is a form of self-care. So you answered it perfectly.
It's the ultimate form of self-care. Self-care is not bubble baths and massages. It's living the truth of your soul. Like you will not need Botox ever. You will reverse age if you follow that inner child magic and delight. And it's just so important. And so from an astrological lens, that's your Libra and your Virgo having a field day, because Virgo is like, show me the data, show me the numbers, like hard work, holy habits, which is something I teach. I have 3 planets in Virgo, by the way. And then your Libra's like, is it this or this? This or this? This or this? Like Libra is like, wants to keep the peace at all costs. So it's like, I'm gonna people please everyone else and then I'm gonna be sad. But everyone else is gonna be happy, you know?
Oh my gosh, that's too good. What message do you think people need to hear right now?
You're powerful beyond measure and Creator has amazing plans for you. And surrender is not a passive thing. Surrender is, I surrender to the plan of Creator above what my limited human brain thinks is possible. And surrender is an active process where you allow a force bigger than you to literally create through you. People's nervous systems are fried, and there's a lot about regulate your nervous system, blah, 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 blah. That's a distraction. It's a distraction. You're not here to be regulated. You are here to be liberated. Okay? Taking 3 deep breaths is a instant gratification distraction. We've got to do a total nervous system reset because your subconscious mind controls 95% of your decisions all day, every day without you realizing it. So most people are walking around with COVID controlling all of their decisions, childhood trauma, past life trauma, bloodline healing. Like it could be maybe you're at an income ceiling in your business because Your grandma's grandma's grandma took an oath of poverty. And you've got to clear that out of your nervous system. So the breath work that I facilitate is, it's not ujjayi, it's not yoga, it's not box breathing, it's not Wim Hof. It's you literally lay down on your back and we do a whole journey. People compare it to plant medicine. It's a total nervous system reset where you open your own Pandora's box on your term. You become your own healer and you reset your body. So all of the things that we're speaking about in this, busting a myth and listening to a podcast is cool, but it doesn't change your life. What changes your life is changed behavior, right? And so if your nervous system is not on board with all of this, you will sabotage it. Because your nervous system is just like, yo, I'm trying to be safe and I have a bunch of stuff stored in here that tells me that change is unsafe, so definitely going to cock block this dream all day, every day. And then you get to come in and just reset your body because your body is a portal for manifestation. So that's something I really want to share, is that like, it's a fool's errand that a lot of people are on, where it's like, I've just got to regulate myself, rest and digest, rest and digest. And it's like, yo, all of the things in your life that are holding you back, that you have not processed through your body, they didn't happen when you were in rest and digest. So why would that be the location where it gets solved? We go back to the state of your body where it was created in a safe space, right? I'm a shaman healer. I'm a facilitator. I hold a space where you literally open your own Pandora's box on purpose. And you're like, okay, I'm going in here and I am my own healer and I'm just going to rewrite the history. I'm going to rewrite the script. And it's deeply confronting. It's not easy. It's incredibly empowering because you take every single breath, even when you don't want to. People have a ton of resistance. Just like at the gym, though, when you lift a heavy weight, you build muscle. So it's the spiritual gym. It's the energetic gym. And your body's a house for your soul. So if your body's not operating at its at its highest frequency, it's not about perfection, by the way. It's about synergy and just, we're always all in process. However, if your body's in such a state that you literally can't access the power of your soul if your body's in disarray, which includes the nervous system. Maybe you have extra weight. There's so many different expressions of it. I felt really called to speak into that because I know there's people listening and they're like, I've got to regulate my nervous system. I'm like, please do not. I mean, can it help in a moment where you're like, I've just got to not be in survival? Yes. However, it's a really low bar because it's like gold star for getting out of survival. It's like, no, we're here to thrive. Like, I reject that bullshit. No.
Yes, 1,000%. That is something that I think, again, we've normalized that we shouldn't be, which is just getting through. We've normalized just getting through another day, right? And that's not living. That's not contributing. That's not any of the things. That's just surviving. And that's not what we were meant to be here doing.
Right. And bringing it back to the title of your podcast, the possibility of perspective, the limit does not exist. It has never existed. And it's my prayer that this episode shatters you into new possibilities. With a smile.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. That's the whole point of me doing this. So how do people get in touch with you? How do they work with you? And then, of course, we'll have everything in the show notes. But tell people, what's the best way to find you?
Yeah, so I am on social media. I'm on and off with it, to be honest, based on whatever I get in my intuition. The place where I share value and just channel for the collective is my podcast. It's called A Better World with Adrienne. So go check that out. I'm obsessed with it. I've been doing it since 2022, and it's where I share and teach outside of my client work. So go find me there. And if you want to work with me, you can email me and we'll link everything in the show notes. We can put some applications in there. I'm really focused on one-on-one work. this year, I'm really called to doing really deep, potent work with you. If you're a maverick visionary founder, if this episode ignited something in your soul and you're like, oh my God, what would it be like if that woman was in my ear every day?
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking this time. Everyone, thank you for listening. And I hope you connect with Adrienne. Go listen to her podcast, and I will see you next time. Hey, before you go, make sure you've subscribed to the podcast wherever you're getting it, and leave a comment and let me know that you were here. I really appreciate that. If this resonated with you, share it, because it will probably help someone else. And the more people we can reach, the better. So thanks again for being here, and I'll see you next time.